Hi and welcome. Um, I will say good morning because it is quite early, 6:30 a.m. here where I am. In this work, I'm representing my co-authors, Veli Atak and Hasan Yasar. We prepared our presentation to be bilingual, to be inclusive, and that the fact that it is held in Antalya. And if you have any questions, please put them in the chat in Turkish or in English, and my colleagues could also address them. So in this work, we, as you know, with the pandemic last year in April 2021, we started to meet together and had discussions on the impact of the pandemic on education at that time, but also how it will influence the future of education. As you know, and within the media as well, there was a heightened discussion on students, whether they are in person, virtual, teachers. However, there's also a group of educators that we didn't hear much. They are the school principals, and they continued their administrative duties, but also they also had to make quick changes, make quick decisions, be very agile. So during our meetings, we transitions our focus on the experiences of school leaders. We also, this was an evolving study. This is in fact the first research collaboration we had as a team. The purpose and the methods we use also evolved over time. First, we were thinking more of a traditional active participatory research. And in this work, as you will see, the role of the researcher and the educator is blurred, it is merged together. And this is called collaborative autoethnography. In fact, this method has become widespread during the pandemic because of its inclusive, integrative nature to really understand these sudden adjustments and social change, whether it was looking at social change within the multicultural education or the way we were doing. And as you will see, as researchers presenting this work, we are also the participants of this study. In addition to collaborative autoethnography, we used another method called photo-eliciting. So we brought pictures since we met over the Zoom. We were not next to each other to help facilitate the discussions. Colleagues, Veli and Hasan, they took images of their schools. As I said, they are the principals, they are at their schools. So these photos became the facilitator of our discussions. So I would like to do a little engagement here, and we included several images below. I'm curious if you could write down what observations do you have, what questions do you have about these pictures, what comes to your mind when you see these images? We'll appreciate if you can put it in the chat to see if we can get some interaction. And I will move on. So together, combining collaborative autoethnography and photo-eliciting, we created this novel approach, and we met for 3 months over Zoom through meetings that lasted at least 2 hours. So data collection. Veli Atak, our first author, is a school principal at a medium-sized public school in an urban school. He started his teaching in '96 and worked as a classroom teacher for 4 years. And he has been an administrator for 21 years. Hasan Yasar, second author, is an assistant principal at a different public school. And this is a rural school further away from the city center. He started his teaching career again in '96. He has been a classroom teacher for 18 years, a social studies teacher for 3 years, and an administrator for 3 years. And myself, I'm an academic. I had my K-12 and undergraduate education in Turkey, and I have been a faculty member at a public university in the United States for 11 years. So I'm not an administrator, but my goal in my purpose in this research was simply being curious, asking questions, and facilitating the discussions. So as we started this conversation, the initial focus was on what was missing, what negative aspects, but over time, things we started to see positive aspects as well. We also noticed longing for school, growing love for school. We recognize the importance of human factor. When we look at these images, these were 2 of the first images we taught. The classrooms are very organized, clean, resourceful. However, the human element is missing. So the conversations led to from seeing what is in the surface visible into deeper conversations about teacher-student communication, importance of feedback, and motivation, how we motivate teachers and students. These are other hallways, libraries, these images of the school. And here you see traces of students, how they are influencing being part of the school culture. On the image here, the word tree is a teacher-initiated project focused on incorrectly used words. This is a library designed by students, and it is their fingerprints, handprints on the walls. And the one on the right is the wall of a counseling teacher's classroom, where a student who was a troublemaker and the counselor discovers the artistic ability of this refugee student, and then this transforms the future of that student. Together, the big key finding was that this invisible virus with the pandemic led to and through this study, we concluded that the pandemic made invisible visible, where we are seeing evidence of what makes teachers motivate, what motivates students, their students, the importance of students being part of the culture, and the role of school and home life for innovative education.
9 minutes are over.
This was 5. Sorry, Christian, how many minutes do I have?
9 minutes
Okay.
are over.
Okay, I will try to conclude quickly. Again, in this work, we examined images of empty classrooms, schoolyards. However, from that, we revealed the human factor and the teacher's impact on education. We also, as participants, through this reflection, we also individually changed ourselves. Our recommendations for future, in the case of interruption to education, and in fact, we would recommend the same even without interruption in future education, that efforts must be put into ensuring mixed approaches, focus on teacher-student interaction. So instead of content or not ahead of content or technology, the efforts should be focused on the goal of maintaining or improving teacher-student interaction. The other important piece is that students contribute to the school's culture, history, through projects, through these interactions. So there's an important element there. And that it is important that lessons link home life and school life. In fact, I think there's an opportunity missed there when school education was moved into home, but then there was that important link of linking to home resources, perhaps not. See. So with that, I could conclude, and we are happy to take questions.
There's one question in the chat saying, how can we find attendance problems of students to online classes?
How can we find low attendance problems to? Yeah, so we discussed that under the umbrella of motivation. The first finding here, the way I will answer, is that it is that really relationship between the teacher and the student. If we can connect with the student and that the student knows that the teacher cares for them, I think that is the key to that answer, to that question.